okay. It takes it just about a minute.
Okay.
Should we all go to mute except for you, Beth, at the moment, or Delina?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're going to say the pledge anyway in a second, so.
I'll get the flag ready.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're all here and we can go ahead and start with the pledge. So I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
Indivisible.
with
liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
for all.
Okay.
Okay,
Dawn, would you mind taking the roll
sure. Delina DeSena,
here?
Harold Kramer,
Here.
Todd Dixon, Kathleen Nankin,
Here.
Terry Graham,
Here.
Sylvia Nichols,
Here.
Beth Crowley.
Here.
I know that Emily Versteeg,
Here.
and we're missing Jody, correct?
Mhm.
She's absent.
Okay, because tonight was going to be elections, right?
We should still have a quorum.
Okay,
We have Kathy, Harold, Todd, Terry, yeah, I think we're
Yep.
good, right? We
That's
only need
quorum.
4.
yep, all right. So that is our roll call.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Terry, did you want to defer to Beth for the budget?
Yes, yes.
So again, we have not spent any money from your budget, so it would remain as it was, I guess, back in March. I didn't call the exact number up, but it was
I might have it here somewhere. $645.
$645 is remaining in that budget.
Okay.
Excellent. Now, Dawn, I'm not sure. Did we have minutes that came out? I thought I had seen them and then I couldn't find
Yeah.
them in the email. So
I
did
sent, yes, I sent the minutes as a separate document.
Okay.
Yes, I have them.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If, can we do a screen share? I could put them up on the screen.
Sure.
Okay. Because sometimes in a Zoom meeting, the host blocks off the screen share. Let me see if I can do this here.
Should have permission, Harold.
Okay. Share screen. Okay. And let me put up the minutes here. Library board minutes coming up. Can everybody see them?
Oh, great.
Yep.
And I'm on the phone and I have them, so
Okay.
this is Terry.
I can slowly scroll down, which is what I've done at some other meetings. Tell me if I'm going too fast or
Nope,
everybody.
that's fine.
Okay, we'll put up this page. Okay.
Yep.
And this page, quite extensive notes, Dawn.
yes. Extensive notes.
Okay.
That's good.
And then and that's it.
Thank you, Harold.
Okay, I'll
Thank you.
unshare. Stop share. Bing. Okay,
Excellent. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Are there any mistakes or omissions that were noted in the meeting minutes from last month?
Now I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the May meeting as presented.
I
I
second.
second the motion.
Okay, Terry seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then the meeting minutes from May stand as they are. And those are the only ones we needed to approve, right? Everything else
Right.
was done last month.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So the only other communication we had is Beth sent her report and the letter that's already gone out to on the website, Beth,
Yes.
as of yesterday, was it? Or
No, today. It went up today. Emily got it on our website and put it out into the newsletter today. And it was also posted on our social media, so it's out in several places.
any feedback on that as of yet?
No, not that I've gotten.
Okay. So just to make sure I understand and that we're all on the same page, the library is going to open Monday to receive back contact list materials and then also to distribute any holds.
Right, so we're going to be bringing, and this is part of my report, so I can give it to you then, or I can go into it now, but we're going to be bringing staff back into the building this week, later this week. The roof was just finished, I was told on Friday, but I'm confirming with Public Works that it was actually commissioned and that the HVAC, which was replacing all 9 of our units, are indeed operational, particularly because ventilation, proper ventilation is part of the office requirements for reopening to bring staff in. So that's the only reason we're a little bit behind other libraries with doing curbside. But once we have staff in, we've already been working on our curbside plans during the last few weeks. And we just need to get into the building now and kind of get all that organized. We have a little bit of a backlog of books that were already on hold when we closed that we need to clean up, and we're gonna so kind of do a soft opening with the curbside to get that done in the first, probably the beginning of the following week, and then hopefully start robustly within a few days after that. But I don't have an absolute definite date, but hopefully by the end of this week I will, for when we start curbside.
Mind if I share a picture, Beth? Let me see if I can get this lined up here. Beth has already seen these pictures.
Oh, that's good. It's not a surprise.
No, you've already seen them all.
Oh,
Yep, so that was the crane putting one of the units up onto the roof.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Hanging in the air like that. Okay. I just thought, picture's worth 1,000 words or 100. All right, stop the share.
Yeah, they did a great job. This was a project that was planned before COVID happened and was approved and really happened in the month of May. It would have taken much longer if COVID hadn't happened and we had been doing this while we were in the building, because they would have had to replace one unit at a time. This way they got to clear the entire roof and do it all at once. So, it shut down the entire HVAC system, but because we weren't there, it didn't matter. So that expedited the project, which was great.
Beth, will the new HVAC system save the town on energy, do you think?
It should, because the old one was almost right at its 20-something year life. So this is should be a much more efficient system now, 20 years later.
Good.
I thought I heard someone trying to
I
speak.
thought Todd was trying to say something. Todd?
He may be conversing with someone at home. I don't know of any other communications. I know there were a few things you had sent out. That's why I mentioned about the opening, and then we'll ask more questions when you get into your report if you want, about what that will look like with the curbside, if you're going to have longer hours or direct people, so that you guys aren't overwhelmed. But is there any other communication that I'm forgetting about? I don't think so.
Oh.
So Beth, if you want to go into your report, you can. I don't really have anything to add. I haven't received any communications directly to me. that you didn't know about, so.
Okay. So the budget was adopted by the town council, and that did include the elimination of the 6 page positions for the next fiscal year. But all the other lines remained intact as we had originally proposed. And Sean mentioned that the council did assume a loss in revenue from the fines for the next year. But we would like the council to make a more of a formal proclamation or decision about becoming permanently fine free. We'll definitely continue not having fines while we're in the COVID situation, because the returning and the amount of time we have to quarantine books is going to make it problematic. Things will end up being overdue. So we don't want to overly burden people. So we'll most likely be coming back to the council for a more formal decision on that. So we can hopefully support that going forward. I think that'd be a great thing for our town. As we just talked about, the roof project finished on Friday. Well, the other part of that project, well, they were separate, but the other thing that was going on at the same time was an LED lighting project that happened in all the buildings in town, and that was also completed on Friday. So we now have LED lights throughout the library, which is great. And I'm going to actually skip to the last part of my report, which is virtual programming, and then we'll go back to the reopening, because that'll probably engender a few more questions. But our virtual programming, which we've been doing almost since we closed to the public, has been going strong, as I mentioned last month. And we will be continuing virtual programming through the summer and possibly into the fall, depending on what we're allowed to do with the governor's guidelines in terms of groups meeting. But in May, we held 54 virtual programs with a total attendance of 800. So we're doing really well with that still. And we are going to be doing summer reading as the virtual program, and that actually launched on June 1st and will run through August 15th. And it includes adventure quests for all ages from 0 to 100. Babies all the way up can participate. You each have your own group of quests, and you download that, you fill it out. It's things like read a book or visit a park, all different types of things you can do. And then you turn that into us and you can win gift certificates to the local businesses. And those are provided by the Friends of the Library. And we thought that was a great way to also help businesses at a time when they've been shut down and they've lost some revenue. We thought that might be a good way to give back to the community and also have a nice prize for the summer reading programs. So we're doing that. And then in terms of reopening, as I mentioned, we're going to hopefully be coming back to the building this week and setting up to begin the contactless curbside of library materials and also printed documents. We have the ability to have people print remotely to our computers, and then we can print it out and provide that to people. Or if people called and needed information, we could print that out and provide that in an envelope outside. So it'll be contactless. It'll be on a table on our patio, the back patio, underneath the overhang. And everything will go in a brown paper bag. You'll have an appointment. And so you'll be told your time is this time to come, and you'll park like you normally would, come up to the patio one at a time, maintaining social distance, and grab your bag that'll have your name on that. So you'll be able to take that. We'll also be opening the book drop, and that we'll be doing this week. So people can start returning their materials, and we can kind of get ahead of that. We will be quarantining books for a week. I talked to Mara at the health department, and she recommended, I'd first said 3 days, and she said if you could go longer, that would probably be better. So some libraries I know are doing a week. So we're going to start off with a week. If the information changes and we can do it a little bit shorter, we might, but we might this way we don't have to wipe down any books. Time will take care of it, and we're not using up precious wipes, which are hard to get, and also risking damage to the materials. So the first week will be the worst because you have to kind of start, and then that first cart has to wait a week. But then after that, each day we'll have a group of materials to be able to check in. And as I said, we have a backlog of holds we have to get through first. So we'll do that. We are only going to open this, aside from the holds that are already there, to residents only to start. Everything that we're doing, and then Mara reiterated this, she came and walked through the building with me to see the staff areas and to talk about both bringing staff back and what was needed for that, as well as what was needed for curbside and reopening to the public. And her biggest caution was to go slowly, to just take everything slowly. And that had been my plan to, start to expand services in a way that we could continue to expand them and not, do it really quickly and then have to contract if things got out of hand. So we're going to take a slower approach, and then as we can expand, we will. So we haven't picked a date to reopen to the public in terms of, and by reopening, I mean letting them come back in the building. So what we're really saying right now is that we're expanding services. So right now we're doing virtual programming. Soon we'll be doing the contactless pickup of materials, and then we'll expand from there. The vast majority of libraries will not be opening their doors to the public until mid-July. So we're not going to be behind the curve on that. And it's definitely a curve we don't want to be ahead of. Because if we are one of the first libraries to open our doors, we will get the patrons from all the other towns where their libraries haven't done so. So I've also been in contact with all of our neighboring libraries, Wallingford, Hamden, Southington, Prospect, and North Haven. And we're all in a similar time frame for, some of them have started curbside. I know Southington just started last week. So we're all kind of in the similar time frame. And nobody's planning to open their doors to let the public in until at least mid-July, if not late July. So that should be good. Kind of maintaining that camaraderie and that collegiality to make sure we're all working together will help all of us be able to manage when we do start to open, not being overrun by people from out of town. So that's the plan. We already have put the plexiglass in place. We did have to order some additional pieces that will also hopefully be done this week for our public service desks. And then once we're back, I'll be able to better order and see what we need for maintaining social distancing, creating lines, all the things you've seen if you've been in any of the public places where they have stickers on the floor, tape on the floor. We have to put all of that in place before we can allow the public to come in. We also have to be able to enforce capacity limits and mask wearing. Both of these, obviously, we've never had to do before. It's a lot harder in a building where you're not really expecting people to come, and they don't necessarily want to just come and come in and get their materials and leave, like a grocery store. They tend to want to stay. So then, it's managing that as well and making sure that we can, do that in a way that keeps everybody safe.
Would you be restricting access to just one entryway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're just going to use the entryway off of the parking lot side.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Delana had, not Delana, I'm sorry. Mara had recommended that we even create one door as an entrance and one door as an exit, which we can do to a point, but we do have a handicapped accessibility door. So we have to make sure that can go both ways. But that's something that we will be doing. And we will only be using that book drop also just to kind of limit how many book drops we have to go into and where people are gathering.
Beth, on a related topic, I've quite enjoyed using Libby. It's a great service. I think I've taken out like 10 books. I'm just wondering how the statistics are going for that. It's a pretty good service.
They're definitely higher. I didn't look at them before the meeting, but they're definitely higher than they've been. We've also added a lot of both new parts to our downloadable collections that you may not even notice. But we have added more titles that can be borrowed simultaneously, at least for a short term. And we've definitely just added to that Libby collection and our RB Digital collection as well. So we've ramped that up quite a bit during this time.
Well, thanks, because it's been a great service.
Good, I'm glad it's working well for you.
Yeah. Has a lot of platform versatility now. You can put it on a Kindle or an iPad or a PC.
Libby is, so that's part of Overdrive. It's just the app for Overdrive. I don't know why there's two different things, but Libby works really, really well. RB Digital is a little bit tougher, can be a little bit glitchier, but usually once you get it going, it works out pretty well. But our Libby is my favorite.
I have another question. I get a lot of emails from Wowberry. Wow, is that the regional brand and you just customize the local edition?
Yeah, Emily, that's how that works, right?
Yeah, so Wowberry is a product, and what it does is it pulls automatically the new stuff from our ILS, and then it sends out a newsletter every week letting people know what we've just added in case people want to place holds. Oftentimes it'll take the stuff when it's still in processing, so people are able to place holds before it even hits our shelves, which a lot of people seem to enjoy. But
Okay, thank you. I was just
Sure.
wondering why it was labeled Wowberry, but then I
Yeah,
kept looking at it and I said, this looks like some sort of service.
it is
Yeah.
a service. Unfortunately, there's no way to remove the Wowberry branding from
Oh,
it. I wish that
yeah,
we could, but
good,
no,
yeah.
we can't.
Okay,
Yeah, we purchased it actually as part of through our consortium.
yeah. Okay, thanks.
Well, it sounds like you have a very good plan in place, Beth. I'm wondering how the staff is feeling about it, if you've heard anything from them. I know there's a lot of trepidation I've seen as different parts of the education building or health building are coming back to work for the first time. People tend to be really nervous and fearful. There's still a lot of people not even wearing masks properly. I'm hoping you guys are going to be provided with gloves for handling those returned items.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad to hear that you're all on board about opening at the same time so Cheshire doesn't get inundated. And hopefully by that point, you'll have all materials returned and ready for circulation also. So you'll have something to start with, assuming that every time people do check things out, it's going to, that 1 week quarantine is going to continue even after you guys do reopen to the public in the middle of July.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people don't, that when people talk about curbside service that libraries do versus what they saw with restaurants and stores, that those are one directional transactions. But for us, the books come back. So, you know, it's been in somebody's house, it's now come back. There's a quarantine process, it's now going out again. We're talking about, you know, a large amount of shared materials. So that's been a big concern for libraries, particularly why curbside really didn't start until other things started to open. Most libraries were not doing it until the end of May because we were concerned about the amount of transmission possible with that amount of material coming back and forth. But to answer your question about the staff, there's a range of emotions. Some people can't wait to get back. Some people are very nervous. We're just coming back with the staff themselves first, but even that is about 19, well, I guess we have about 24 people, 19 full-time and another 5 part-time that will be working together. So we have put precautions in place in the staff areas. Mara went through them with me, and you know, we figured out how we can spread people out in the building, how we can make the offices a place where people will be able to take off their masks safely. And then all other kinds of, you know, things you may have seen in those sector guidelines for offices with, you know, limiting use of the break room and, you know, and definitely providing the PPEs. We have masks, we have gloves, we have both regular masks and the KN95 masks. We have gowns for when we do the materials. And I just bought everybody those cootie keys, and they are probably out on my porch right now that just delivered from Amazon. So everybody's gonna get a cootie key, which is, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're like a metal device that has a little stylus tip, and you can press, like buttons, like the elevator button. You can open door handles with it without touching them. It's great for like the gas pump or the ATMs. So I got them for everybody so they can have them both to use at home or at work, because there are a lot of things that you don't even realize you have to touch all the time, even, you know, at work. So you can use touch the buttons on the microwave, but we'll also be doing, you know, regular cleaning, and wiping down shared and common surfaces. Everybody will have their own workspace, their own phone. You know, we had a test of this for the 2 weeks when we closed to the public, but staff was still working in the building. So we've already done this a little bit. We left doors open so they don't have to keep keying in the codes and things like that. So I think for coming back with the staff, that's one step. Bringing the public back is a much scarier proposition. And I'm really hoping that the mask compliance won't be too much of an issue, because I think people are afraid that we're going to spend a good part of our day policing people. And that's so far from what we normally do as librarians that, you know, we don't want our customer service to now be really negative because we're feeling like we're having to enforce all of these rules and restrictions that people aren't going to be used to in terms of where you stand, what you can do, where you can go, how long you can be there, how many people can come in the building. So there are things we need to make sure we're comfortable with and go from there.
Well, could you put something like out on that overhang as they come in the door, like a board with all the rules listed?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, signage is going to be really important. Thank you, Terry. I do have some pre-printed signs from the health district that are really great, that are very simple and tell you, everything you need to do, but we'll be doing our own. We have a great, Emily actually heads up our marketing department and team. So they do a great job with infographics and creating signage and posters. We're going to need to have directional signs and just making sure people understand, what the rules are and how they can stay safe while they're using the library.
Sounds good.
One of the other components is also the computer use. So some libraries are talking about at first maybe just having that be appointment based. We're going to be removing about half of our computers so that we can keep them at a safe distance from each other. But computer use, the copier, the fax machine, these are all things that we regularly are one-on-one helping somebody with. And so that's going to become challenging as well in terms of us keeping a social distance, but still being able to provide help to people. So we're talking about different ways that that can work, whether we make the copies for somebody or they're on their own and we kind of stand to the side and we're just yelling. I don't know. But we maybe also be able to do some screen sharing, kind of remote in, I don't know if I'm calling it the right thing, Emily, but remote in screen sharing to be able to, we can see what they're doing on their screen. Maybe if you've ever like called a help desk and they kind of remote in, sort of that idea to help people.
Yeah, I think we might try to do remote desktop and then maybe have a phone, have like a designated computer that's for remote help.
Yeah, so we've got to get all those things set up. And then again, we want to go slowly so that we're not overwhelmed when we first say, come in and do this. We want to make sure that we're able to do it safely and people get used to the idea of what we have to do.
That sounds fantastic. Does anybody have any questions for Beth?
The
Regarding her?
self-check machine's going to be operational? That's another thing you touch all the time.
Yeah, so we've debated this, whether we just have people go to the circulation desk where we have the plexi, or whether we keep one self-check open so that, because we do have to clean it in between. So maybe if only one is open and the circ desk is open, then we'll clean it in between. Again, one of the concerns that many libraries have is the staff level that all of this is going to take. Being up on the floor, watching, because someone's got to stand there and make sure that it's cleaned. Yeah. So for the keyboards, we're going to put some kind of either plastic sleeve or protective sleeve over the keyboards that we can then change with after every use for the computers. So that's not so bad. But and
what about the restrooms? That's going to be another area that's going to be a problem, I presume.
Right now, Mara's recommendation was to keep the public restrooms closed.
Okay.
And I think for the amount of time people will be in there, and again, it depends when we finally start letting people in the building. If that's a few weeks from now, that directive may change, but then there needs to be more cleaning in between, and I'm not sure how that's going to be provided. So.
And how is that handled normally? Does someone come in after the library close and clean them, or is it done throughout the day?
No, the cleaning, there's a contracted cleaning service for the town, and they come in at night and they do all of the cleaning. But it's really only as clean as the last person who used it before. Once it was clean, it's clean for that moment. As soon as someone goes in, it's not clean anymore. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Part of it is public awareness that you're using a public facility. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
they have to take some responsibility too, knowing
And this,
Yeah.
I think the hand washing and this using the sanitizer, and if, you know, I mean, you have to do that. That's going to be really key. So we'll have big signs, you know, if the restrooms are open, wash your hands.
Which they should know anyway, but
They
Well,
should.
certainly presents some very difficult and unique challenges for you.
Yes.
More so than, as you've pointed out, than a normal retail operation. That's for sure.
Yeah. And we're not used to doing some of these services, you know, takeouts, that's something we've done. So, you know, trying to figure out the scheduling for that and how that's going to work, getting the materials for it, making sure we can do it safely and also have people maintain social distancing. But the curbside is something that has been done in other libraries, and people do seem to appreciate being able to get the materials. I think it's a nice next expansion of what we've been doing.
Okay, are there any other questions, or should we move on to our unfinished business? Okay, as far as unfinished business, I know we have our elections. I'm not sure if there was anything else unfinished coming to mind right now.
I think that's all we had, really, was the elections.
Okay, so Kathy, do you want to give the slate that was proposed for officers?
Absolutely. I don't have it in front of me, but the slate of officers, as I recall, is Harold Kramer for chair. Vice chair is Jody Heritage. The corresponding secretary is Todd Dixon, and the treasurer is Terry Graham.
Yeah.
So that is our proposed slate of officers for the ensuing year. And I think I need to take a nomination. I need a second. I making a motion to accept the slate as proposed.
And is there a second?
Somebody who is not running has to second it. Otherwise, it's a conflict.
Okay, then that will be me. I second the motion to approve.
And therefore, I must say, are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none. I'm trying to think how we do this. Normally, we would direct the secretary to cast one ballot, but I'm not sure if it's Dawn or Todd. So
I think it would be Todd as the board
Yeah.
secretary.
All right.
Todd,
the
you
vote
still
is
there?
cast. Yes, the vote is cast.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations to the new board. I know you all do a phenomenal job. And I would just like to personally thank Delena for the terrific job that she has done over the years. It is very much appreciated. You have been an excellent leader for our library board. And I know you're not leaving the board, but again, thank you so much for everything that you have done as chair. It was really very, very much appreciated. And I'm speaking personally, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the board members.
Yes, you do.
Kathy, can we make that into a formal motion to thank Delena for her service to the board?
Well,
last couple of years?
absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
let's see. I'd like to move that the board thanks Delena Decina for the outstanding service that she has rendered to the library board for the past couple of years.
I second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I guess I have to say that. Okay. So now
Thank
it's part of
you.
the official record, Delena.
yes.
Thank you for all the kind words, and best of luck and congratulations to the new officers.
When do we officially take over?
Now.
Now?
Okay, Harold.
I move, no, the chairman can't make a motion for adjournment.
You have to do new business still.
Oh, we have to go new business. Okay, is there any new business?
Nope.
Nope. Sylvia, did you have any comments for
No.
us as our council representative or anything?
I know this is the first time I've sat in one of these meetings, and I'm getting used to this because it's almost every night now for the last month. We've been on, I'm beginning to feel nailed to my chair here. And oftentimes you'll catch me snacking or eating my dinner in the middle of the process. But I applaud you for it, and I am amazed at the job that will be ahead of you in order to make the library safe. I'm really, on a personal note, I am so sorry that this has come to this for all of libraries and any other places we go. It's unfortunate that we have to do it, but I'm sure that the residents are looking forward to your diligence in keeping them safe when they come to the library. So it's a daunting task to get all of those things taken care of, certainly, because there are many more pieces there than there are in many other places that we frequent. So I look forward to just being an observer. I'm here if you have issues that need to be brought to the council. And Patty was your representative for lots of years, and she was always good at bringing us things that needed attention from the library. And I'm here to hopefully keep doing that the same way. So my job is simply to be here and listen, but be here if you need any kind of assistance from the council. So Beth does a great job. She's great. She keeps us appraised of what we need to know most of the time too.
Thank you, Sylvia. You've already been a big support for the library, so we're really happy that you're here with our board.
Well, I do support the library a lot. So as a reader, I've been through many books in the last
Yes.
2 months, as you all have, right?
Well,
And
Okay.
unofficially,
Harold-
off the record,
oh.
I would just,
Sorry.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, Harold, I was able to look up the stats just during the meeting. So in the past 30 days over 2019, our overdrive Libby use has increased by 50% in the past 30 days. And in the past 30 days over last year, our RB digital use has increased by 1,836%.
Wow.
That's a
Wow.
little bit deceiving because we did add a lot of content on RB digital in the past year, but the use is up. So maybe in small part due to you too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your report. I like the great courses, by the way, on RB Digital. You can only borrow them for a couple of days, though. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, 7 days. Then you have to renew your pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
it's a
Acorn
great
TV.
service.
Don't forget Acorn TV.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you, Sylvia, for your comments. Is there any other new business? Kathy, you were going to say something, I think.
I was just going to say, on a personal note, I will be very glad when the book drop is open, because then we can return Lily's DVD of Scooby-Doo, which we have watched, and Gravity Falls. I'll be very glad to see both of those go back. Keep them quarantined for a while.
Yep.
Okay. Any other new business? Any other new business? Okay.
No.
Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I
Okay.
second that.
Kathy seconds. It's a non-debatable motion. All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Okay. The meeting officially ends at 7:42.
Everybody have a good summer.
You too,
Yes.
Terry.
Oh, you too, Terry.
Everybody stay safe.
Yeah,
Beth,
continue
if-
to be safe, and hopefully in September we can meet in person.
Actually
Unless
see people.
Yeah. Unless Beth feels the necessity of briefing us on something important in July and August.
Right.
So if you feel that you need to meet with us, Beth, just let us know,
Yeah,
Definitely. Yep.
because you have a lot of things on the plate there in motion, you know?
yeah.
And I'll keep you apprised, even if it's, just keep you briefed as to what's going on, because, my goal is that if you are approached by members of the community, that you're able to answer their questions. But if you do find something that you come up against that you can't, certainly refer them to me, or let me know, and I'll get back to somebody or let you know what the answer is.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
want anyone to ever feel caught flat-footed.
Make sure that you keep us on the council apprised as well, because we get the questions sometimes that they don't know who you people are. So it's
That's right.
important for us to be able to answer those as well. So if you're sending out any kind of information to this board, if you would send it to me or to the council completely, that would be helpful for us.
I'll do that. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.